a tear. You're going to consent for all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I gotta get it going.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna let these peeps in. Start focus mode. Yes.
You're going to consent for all of them.
I'm gonna shut this down. Okay. Morning, everybody. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
What's up, Big Daddy?
What's up,
Good
boys?
morning.
How are
Hey, how
you?
you like them donuts?
Dude, that was awesome. That was hilarious. I turned around, I'm like, is that Ben Affleck?
That was one of the more entertaining commercials for sure.
That one was
With-
hilarious.
With Tommy on the keys? Oh, it's so good.
It was pretty good getting
I
it.
I thought Matt's line at the very end was clutch. That was awesome. Like you know how
yeah.
I told you like you owe me? Like yeah, that was it. Like I owe you one. Yeah, that was it.
That was a good commercial. What a great game, though. Wow.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. Like, the first half was kind of like meh.
Yeah, it went from the worst game in the world to the best game in the world pretty quick.
Dude, what a finish, man. I knew it. I knew as soon as he got the ball back, I was like, oh, he's going to come right back down there and score and end the game. I was like, Purdy had a chance. I called 24-21 KC up by 3 and the under. Thank God I don't bet. It was 25-22 KC and the over. You know how badly, like,
Yeah, Vegas knows something every now and then.
I don't get it. Like, how?
I'm dying to know how Yvette's open house was.
Yeah. Yvette still, are you awake?
She may be working.
Oh, she worked. Cool. All right, you guys. So I have started recording, just so you guys know. Wanted to make sure we went over in continuing with all of the technology that we've been using, Matt and I, to help all of our clients, help your clients, help our clients. Last week we took a look at HomeBot, so that's recorded. That's on my YouTube channel. We are now going to be diving into ListReports and MBS Highway. So ListReports those are both pieces of software that we sponsor and that we subscribe to. You guys have full access to ListReports. You can log in, you create yourself a website, you create yourself a login, you get in there, you can build your marketing kits, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second here. MBS Highway is something that we see on our side. It is software that tracks the mortgage market for us and really helps us dive into the technicalities behind when to lock in rates and so forth. But it also has a robust amount of analysis that we can do. So basically, I want to show you guys all these different reports that you have access to that we provide. And if you guys ever come into a situation where you come across a client like, hey, this guy's trying to tell me that he wants to wait 6 months, blah, 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 come and get Matt or I, and we'll do an analysis for him. And we'll help you guys, have that conversation with them, and hopefully get them over the hump. So let's dive into this. So let me share my screen with you guys. Can you guys all see my list reports? Yeah, cool. All right, so check it out. It's really a very simple piece of software to use. Like I said, all you need to do is go to listreports.com as a real estate agent, create yourself a login, a username, and a password. And then when you log in, instead of my agents, you'll see my loan officer over here. Just click on that and enter in my name, enter in Matt's name, and we will pop up. Just choose us, and then it will pair us. It'll tell us, we'll know that you guys went in there and we're paired. And it will give you guys access to all the software, all the information that they have, which is pretty cool. There's a lot to this website. not just open house flyers, primarily is what everybody kind of uses it for. So if you take a look, there's 110 agents using it right now, but all you would need to do to create something would be click on this new marketing kit. Matt, do you have an address where you were doing an open house that you could share with me? As a matter of fact, you know what? I've got one right here. I don't know why I just asked. 845 West 3rd Street. How's that? So when you click on new marketing kit, it's gonna bring you up here, right? All you have to do is enter in an address, West 3rd. It's gonna ask you, okay, it'll pop up, your Google Maps addresses. You choose it and it knows it's an active listing already. If you want to push it through, sometimes you can also add, if for whatever reason it's not coming up, go into Zillow, go into Redfin, and pull their URL and you can paste it here. You will just type in your name. So let's go Deborah Brown because I saw she just created one, right? And then so you won't have to do this. If I do it for you, I have to choose the agent, but obviously if you're logged in, you don't need to do that. You're going to see all the listing details right here. 3 bedrooms, 4 baths. This one's not popping up. Is there a different one that might pop up?
9021 Rhonda.
9021. Ah, yes. Rhonda Avenue. That one will pop up, or it should. Yep, perfect. All right. So listing details, you're going to wind up, it's going to pull everything from the MLS, right? As long as it's listed. You can go in here and add more information if you like. The property description already pulled. If you want to do an open house, you could just put in the date and time right here, and it will populate and it will show it right. It will show it right on the flyer. And then you guys can go and just do some door knocking with these flyers. All you have to do is take the PDF afterwards. I'll show you how to do that. Email it to Matt and I. Make sure that you give us 24 hours notice. Like, don't hit me up on a Friday at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and be like, hey, I'm door knocking tomorrow. Like, can you get me some flyers? Because we do need to print it at the office and get them to you somehow. So your information will be in here when you populate it with yours. And again, setting up your entire profile is clutch because you got to put in your picture in there. You got to put in a headshot. You got to put in your DRE, your BRE, all that information. Make sure you get a good email address and a phone number on there, a website if you have one. And then that way it can be really streamlined for you. So like this is all you would have to do. You can choose the pictures or you can have it choose for you. This is the hero image. It'll go on top. I usually like to get something like as busy as I can possibly find. That will, showcase the house. And on this one, I don't really like doing outdoor pictures, but using the interior pictures is nice. So, something like you've got a lot of color in this. So I would try to choose something with a lot of color in it, right? And then, the other pictures, not really as big of a deal to choose, but when you do click on them, just click save. It'll get on there, and let's see, let's just choose a pretty bathroom here, right? You can customize it with different colors, so it already has pre-populated colors depending on where you work. So if you want different colors, you can do that. And let's see, if you wanted to put promotional text on there, so instead of having, the date and time for the open house, you can put whatever you want. And then co-marketing options, it's going to print it with both of our information. When you click submit, that's it. You're done. It's that easy, and it's really quick. And so as soon as it's completed, it's going to send both of us an email and let us know, hey, your information for, Rhonda Court, all your collateral is ready to go. And it's really that simple, you guys. So what's nice is I can go in here and see something and fix it for you if need be, or you can do it yourself. Usually these go pretty quickly. Sometimes they take a little bit. But let's take a look at one that she already did actually for the same property because we did an open house there last week, and you have an entire marketing kit, right? So there's a whole bunch of information on here. There's digital stuff. It gives you a website. It creates a website for you. which you could take a look at just by clicking on view. If you needed one, it's very simple. You click on that website, you've got your dashboard, you can share it on social, you could just copy the link right here. It has information about the home. It's got the entire photo gallery that it downloaded from the MLS. It's got really cool information about like the area, and like the schools that are around there, what's convenient with the shops. It's got like outdoor areas that are nearby, neighborhood eats, what kind of restaurants are around. So it's pretty cool stuff. You can print this out. You can have it um at the open house. We can drop in some financing information. It'll give you some very basic information. And then it'll say if you want to contact me. And then it's got your information in there as well if you want to contact you. And again, you can use this as a landing page, for instance, right? When you're doing the open house. So, and you'll capture all the leads that way. So that's one little thing that it does. Again, 4 different types of websites. Open house flyers are pretty sweet. If you take a look at it and just click view, I would just download it and then email Matt and I the PDF and we'll get them printed for you, right? So again, open house flyers, it pulls all the information on there. Open house, this is what we just put in, right? Well, actually, this is a different one, but yeah, that's where it would appear. Just kidding. So again, photos on here, it pulls all this. You can scan a QR code. So again, if you have one printed up at an open house, somebody can just scan that QR code and pop all the information right on their phone. You can also create a custom text number. So like for Deb, like she might put Deborah Brown, right? And if somebody texts Deborah Brown to that number, boom, the lead will pop up in her phone and they'll get all the information on here. And this is why you want to create a complete profile, because you want it to appear like this, complete. You don't want like an avatar here, right? Like you need your headshot on here. You want to make sure that your licensing is on there, your phone number is on there, your emails are on there. So it's really important that you do that. And then this is the back of the flyer. Again, those convenient like breakdowns of the areas, those are right on the flyer right here on the back on the second page. And like I said, we'll print these up for you guys. Just get us the PDF and let us know when you guys are doing that. There's an open house sign-in sheet. You can print those property reports separately. There's all sorts of cool stuff. So active listings, depending on what you want it to say, listing presentations, you can add this into your listing presentations. And then you can order sign writers if you wanted, or postcards. I know I kind of flew through that. Any questions, you guys? Anybody?
Yeah, this list reports is really good for shareables on social media too. So say you just wanted to make it easy on yourself and you're really trying to keep on your social media game and you're committed to 3 social media posts a day or a week or whatever you're doing as far as your social media game. There's a bunch on here that you could just click on and are very relevant to whatever's going on in a few different industries across our board. So
Agreed.
yeah,
And that's
definitely check
exactly
it
what
out.
I just did. Thank you so much. That's a perfect little segue there. So your shareables are right here, on the same website. As a matter of fact, you get an email every day. And in that email, we'll give these shareables and it'll tell you what your talking points are. If you wanted something to do a video or what have you, it's got these notables that are on there. And then you can click on them and it'll tell you, I've been doing this for a while, so there's been a lot of shareables that have been downloaded and shared on Facebook and what have you, and marketing kits that have been created. But it provides all this for you. And so if you want to post, a video, make a video or something like this, you can do that. If you just want to post it to Facebook, you can do that. It gives you a list of open houses and so forth. So it's a nice email that you get every morning. But then again, you can go in here and just browse through and just take a look at like, hey, what's the news that came off after the kickoff, blah, blah, blah. You can post this. It's got different types. So you can go on Instagram, you can go on Facebook. So depending on where you're planning on posting, you can make your own on here. And again, you can just search for categories and it'll pull up the ones that you're looking for. Just a great way, like Matt said, to kind of just get an idea for the day. Kind of like, having writer's block and don't exactly know what to talk about. It's here for you. We got it. So it's free. All you got to do is log in. Go ahead and choose us as your loan officer, and we'll be right there for you. So it'll keep us in the loop of whatever you guys want to do. All right.
Eddie, this is Yvette.
Yay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Matt, for this weekend for those flyers for the list reports. I had an agent. She she took one of the flyers just because she said, "Oh my gosh, I love this flyer. I'm going to have to copy this." And it was one of you guys' list reports flyers. So,
Nice.
so there's some agents out there who still don't know about list reports, and she's going to be using list reports now because she loved my flyers.
Cool.
That's
Well,
awesome. How was the open house, by the way?
It was really good. It was about 70 plus groups that came through this weekend.
where?
In La Jolla, it was on
That's
Soledad
the one
Mountain
on
Road.
Soledad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I imagine she got a few offers.
And oh gosh, guys, I had to tell you this. I had a first. This was so weird. A guy actually brought in a physical offer in the kitchen and handed it to me. He had saw the property the first day on the grand opening on Saturday, came back on Sunday with an offer in his hand and handed it to me. It was the first.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Did he have an agent?
This is the thing, and so it's going to be odd on this one. He did not have an agent, but he was an attorney, and he felt he didn't need an agent. So he literally went to the car website, downloaded the form, filled it out.
Yeah, he's not allowed to.
Yeah, it was. So it's going to be
Without a real
interesting.
estate license, he can't use that form.
Yeah, yeah. Bridget's going to kick him back to me. So we'll see how it go today.
Let's
We'll see how
go.
it goes today.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Good
Fingers
for
crossed
you.
for
Good
you.
for you.
Great.
See, all it takes is one at these open houses, guys. That's awesome, Yvette.
Yeah. Way to go. I love the success story. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm crossing my fingers that he'll give me a call today. She's gonna tell him, great, I love your offer, but you need to go through my agent.
Nice. That's
That's
awesome.
so awesome.
Sweet. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
So list reports, right? Pretty simple to use. Literally you're just clicking on the marketing kit, and clicking on new marketing, and boom, entering an address. It pulls it up, choose some pictures, put in an open house date and time if you want to. You don't have to do that. You could just click create and it'll populate it. So simple. So see, it's already done. It's nice. It's easy. The other piece of software that we use that is really relevant to you guys, that can really help you out, especially if you guys have clients on the fencing, is MBS Highway. So I just want to make sure I'm still sharing my screen, right? You guys can still see all this stuff. Okay. So for us, this is what we use every day, all day long. We start off every morning with our morning update. And basically Barry Habib comes on here and he gives us a presentation.
I heard all about the strength of the economy
of what's going on.
Super hit.
And then he breaks it all down for us right here in writing. And we have daily updates every morning, economic updates and just what's going on in the marketplace. We follow the market all day, every day. And if something happens in the market, where all of a sudden rates are spiking in the middle of the morning or what have you, we get an alert to lock. My phone blows up. I get a text message. I get a phone call. I get an email. These guys are watching this actively for us. This here, they're showing us what like the mortgage-backed securities look like, and what the pricing is. And we all know that, as prices go down, rates go up. So unfortunately, over the past couple of weeks, rates have been going up here. So hopefully that will stop, in the near future. It also shows us, what the stock market's been doing along the same token, right? And what the 10-year treasury is doing. And the 10-year treasury is really what drives the kind of the pricing behind mortgage-backed securities. All right. So you can see as these rates are going up on the 10-year treasury, so is the pricing going down on here and rates are going up. So this is software that we use if we have someone that is a very analytical client. I'll create a video with this in the background and I'll show it to them and I'll make sure that they understand, like, hey, like, I know you got a quote like a week ago, but this is why we're a little bit higher now, or I'm glad you're shopping around, but this is why you need to look at, rates in the same day, because take a look at this one little spike in one day. You could have had a 0.25% change in rate. So, it's really important that they understand that, and that we follow that, right? But there's also a lot of different types of analysis that are in here. So these are some of the common ones. I already pre-made some of these. Let me get this to go full screen. So real estate report card, this is one that's nice, very simple, very clean, one page. You put in a zip code and boom, and it gives you all the information on there. Historical averages of what was appreciating over time, and what is projected to appreciate. So over the next 5 years, they're projecting La Mesa, where I'm living, to go up by 27%. I will take that. I am happy with that. I can live with an extra 27% appreciation in the next 5 years. Even if it's not 27 and it's 20, 15, I'm cool with that. Because we all know that over a period of time, there's never been like 5 years in a row where prices have gone down, right? Like, so yeah, they go down, they go up, they go down, they go up. But over time, historically speaking, it's been appreciating for at least 5%, on average per year for the past 50, almost 60 years here in San Diego. So again, historical average 63. Oh, sorry. I stand corrected. Over the past 63 years, it's appreciated 5.26%. So I wasn't that far up. 6% over the past 10 years, 8% over the past 5 years. I mean, look, I know the stock market is a lot more volatile, but this is a lot safer of a bet. Buying a home, investing in your future, investing in your family, because that's somewhere that you get to call your home, right? Well, I don't have to tell you. Let the numbers do the talking. You guys, we're all on the same page, so we need to see these numbers. We need to educate our buyers, of that this exists. Here's the new listings. It pulls all this stuff. Here's what's being built this year. Here's the demographics, and you can kind of feel the shift here in La Mesa. At least a lot of younger families coming in, homeowners versus renters. And again, median household income out in San Diego, you're at 106,000 to the median, and national average 74. So obviously it's a lot more expensive to live here, but people make a lot more money as well.
How did you get to that?
How did I get to what?
How do you get to that information? That is really helpful.
Yeah, this is the real estate report card. This is something that you would just ask us to print out. This is in MBS Highway. So this is in this software. I would just go to real estate report card, and then I would punch in whatever zip code I wanted, whatever 92127, just pick something. And it will spit it out here within a few minutes if my internet complies. So it's really nice. It gives you the forecast average. See, it's not the same, different averages based off of this particular area. But again, the demographics, at least in the housing, is similar. Because this is San Diego, right? This is breaking down San Diego demographics and so forth. But this is actually, sorry, this is in this particular area. Here's your San Diego numbers. But this is San Diego as well, because there's 3.3-ish million people in San Diego. So you see that the majority of them is homeowner. But you still got a lot of renters out there. A lot of renters. And a lot of renters that can afford to purchase. So yeah, if you're ever doing an open house, just let us know. Hey, I need a real estate report card. And we can knock this out for you very easily. Another really cool one that's in this particular software is called the cost of waiting report. So again, you have, a high C that's very analytical, that needs all the information before they can make a decision. And they kind of get stuck in their own head because they're like constantly thinking about things and overanalyzing. We can provide them with this. So basically, we actually did this on the listing that you just did, right? So it was a $2.2 million purchase, right? So I'm going to start down here. Okay, right down the bottom, property and loan details, 2.3 purchase. And then what it does is it calculates, hey, if you wait 6 months, here's what should be appreciating. If you wait a year, it might go up by 5.25. If you go, and we can adjust these numbers. So if you have someone that's telling me, oh yeah, prices are going to come down, I can adjust it and show you, okay, fine, they come down now. Watch what happens in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, right? Because you waited. And it breaks everything down and it shows you exactly what those monthly payments look like and approximate closing costs and so forth, right? But then it gets into the analysis, and that's up here. So it'll show you what your equity is that has built up based off of that appreciation over 6 months. Look at, if you go 5% on a $2.3 million purchase, it's $140,000. 5% in appreciation. That's not a huge appreciation. It's an expensive property. So a little bit of appreciation on a lot of big number, like that's a lot of money to be passing up on if you can afford a home like this, right? Dude, in 2 years, you're passing up on almost $300,000 in appreciation. And that's in a very, very moderate appreciation of 10% over 2 years, right? And again, we can adjust these numbers. If they don't feel like it's going to be 10%, they think it's going to be 5, fine. Show them the 5 in 2 years. But let us provide them with those numbers, right? Because this is not the easiest stuff to calculate. Here is what the estimated home appreciation is going to look like. This is what in a couple of years, this is how much that property is going to be worth. Here's what's going to happen with your monthly payments if you do wait. Okay, so fine. We have in here that rates are going to be falling from 6.25 to 5.75 to 5.25. We're hoping in a year we're back into the 5s, right? Into the low 5s. So let's see what happens to our monthly payments. Our monthly payments, sure, they're going to fall because your rates are coming down. But at the same token, while your monthly payments have fallen $500, you've passed up on $120,000 of appreciation. Where's the sense in that? Why would you want to wait? That doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, you know, as property values appreciate, your closing costs are going to go up in conjunction with that. So you do the math, and just in 2 years, you would have lost almost $300,000 by not buying it now, even with the higher rate. And again, depending on the conversations that we have with the clients, we can adjust this so that we can show them what they think is going to happen, and we can crunch the numbers for them. You think that might be helpful in getting somebody off the fence?
For sure.
A little bit.
For sure.
So that's what the cost of waiting analysis look like. A lot of numbers, a lot of analysis, but there are a lot of high C's out there and S's that really want to see this get into the nitty gritty with the numbers, and we can provide it for them. Here's a rent versus buy report. They've simplified it. It's down to 1 page. They're changing a lot of the reports right now. So this was probably going to look at this will probably change as well. But buying an $800,000 property versus renting for $3,500 a month. Right? Okay, so yes, you're buying and your payments are going to go up quite a bit. But at the same token, you know, and rates, I put rates a little bit higher, 6s right now. But your rent, what do you get for your rent? Nothing, right? And your rent does increase every year. So I put 3% increase. Your rent's going to go up. Now you're at $4,300, you know, after 8 years. And yes, the cash flow difference is substantial. But look at what happened in those 8 years when your property has been appreciating all this time. That property is now worth 1.1, 1.2, right? You got $400,000 of equity built up in this house just from the appreciation. And that's gravy because all this time you've been paying down that loan. And that's what amortization means. So you've been paying down that loan with every single payment. You've had this forced savings account and you forced yourself to save $70,000 on top of the fact that the value of the house has been growing. So at the end of the day, with the tax benefits and just buying this house, yeah, it doesn't make sense to buy it and then sell it in the first couple of years. You're going to lose money if you do that because there's cost included in the transaction, right? But after year 3, it starts going up and up and up and up. And look at, I mean, after year 8, you're at $200,000 in profit for making that decision. And guess what? You got to call a home your own. You didn't have somebody telling you what to do in your own house. Decorate how you want, do what you want. It's a game changer. So the sooner you can help somebody get into a house, the more wealth they're going to build over the long haul. And another one of the great reports that's in here, it's called a loan comparison. And it's very simple. Like if someone just wants us to crunch them some general numbers, we can just pop right in here and provide them with some general information. If they want very specific numbers on their particular financial situation, which is obviously everyone's going to be very unique, very different, that will entail we would have to get a credit report from them. We would have to, like, dive into doing a pre-approval for them, get their income, get their assets, really figure out exactly where they're coming from, so we can give them a solid advice as to, hey, this is maybe not for you, or hey, this is why are we waiting any longer, right? But what I did was I took a look at three options. I like 20% down. Oh, did I switch it to 220s? A 3.5. I thought I did a 10% as well. I did. I just didn't. Yeah, I did do it. Sorry. 20%, 10%, 3.5%, right? And you can it'll break it right down for them. It'll show them. And again, these are estimates. Like, I don't know what the closing costs are going to be. 14 grand ish, right there. Taxes, insurance, everything is kind of is in here. Your monthly cost snapshot, it breaks it down. Here's what principal is, how much interest you're going to be paying. Here's your PMI mortgage insurance. It's going to be mortgage insurance on this one because it's 20% down. Here you're going to have mortgage insurance. Homeowners insurance. Here you're going to have homeowners insurance and mortgage insurance, and same with this one because you're not putting that 20% down, right? And then your taxes across the board, so you could see what your payments look like. You could see what the snapshot is gonna look like after X amount of time, and how much it's gonna cost you, and which one makes more sense to do, which one you're gonna save the most amount of money off of, and we can choose these time frames. So I can slide it and say, okay, I want to only be there 5 years, depending on the conversation that we have. This is my forever home. I'm gonna put 15, 20 years out. So we can do whatever kind of analysis you want. I chose 9. And then we can show them what the approximate appreciation will be over a period of time with that. So this is a very kind of 30,000 foot loan comparison. If someone just wants to see ish what the numbers look like, right? We could send this over to them. $800,000 purchase. How much principal you've paid. I chose 7 years for this particular one. Here's how much the property is appreciated. Here's what your down payment was. Here's how much total equity you've built. You're calculating the difference with the payment and how much appreciation, total it all up. Look at you, and you got $500,000 in 7 years from owning a home. Like, it's mind boggling. My neighbors are selling their home from, and I'm like, I'm looking at my house. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how is that even possible? And it wouldn't have been possible. Like, the equity in this house wouldn't be possible if I didn't, like, just dive headfirst and say, screw it. I'm going to push myself as far as I could and buy as much as I could afford that was comfortable for me. And it's going to pay off in dividends down the road. And I'm hoping that we can all work together and help more people see the light and understand the numbers behind it. And that's really where Matt and I come into play, is helping you guys kind of use all these tools to break all this stuff down for our clients and educate them and explain to them what is amortization, what is that forced savings account that they have that they don't even realize that they have just by owning a home. What is appreciation? How does that work? How does equity work? What can I do with that money later on? All these tools. I mean, it's such an amazing piece of software. So I just want you guys to realize that these are at your fingertips. There are more analysis in here, but we don't have time to go through everything today. But there are a bunch of more, like, blended rates. If someone's got debts, and they want to see, like, what it's actually costing them. A lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to touch a 7.5% loan, but I'm okay paying 8.5% for a car and 26% on my credit cards. And we can do the analysis for them and show them what that combined rate of all of their debts is. And then what it looks like if they were to sell their current home, move up to a different home, even with a 3% rate going into a 7% rate, but eliminating a lot of other higher interest rate debt, right? And kind of consolidating that into a new loan with a new house using the equity that they built up, and showing them that, hey, it may just make sense to pull the trigger and do something sooner rather than later than being locked into your 3% rate. So again, there's a ton of information in here: buy versus rent reports, calculating paying points, whether it makes sense. We could do ARM versus fixed analysis for people. We could do the cost of waiting report, property comparisons. We could do the loan purchasing, like I showed you guys earlier, debt consolidations. It's great. I love it. And if anybody has any questions, gladly answer them for you on any of this stuff.
I have another question.
Yeah, fire away.
So some of these high-end properties, you have a lot of cash buyers, they're doing part cash in part loan. So I tend to find a lot of them ask me the question, what about the property taxes? Can you estimate the property taxes if I was to
Sure.
pay cash? Would any of your analysis or reports allow any of that?
All of them do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So usually, to be on the safe side, we use 1.25%
Okay.
of the purchase price. And it's super easy. So what take the purchase price, whatever it is, 2.3 million
Mhm.
times 0.0125. And
Okay.
that'll be their annual taxes.
Okay.
That's an overestimation
Mhm.
just because we like to be on the safe side. So that's what I would do.
Okay.
To get into the nitty gritty with them, you can always go on SD Trez Tax, .com, which is our treasury department, like our San Diego treasurer, right? Tax assessor, sorry. It's our tax assessor's website. And you can plug in any APN, you can plug in any address in there, and it will pull up their tax bill. So you can look if you want to dive into the nitty gritty on that particular property. You can just put in the address, go grab the tax bill, and down on the bottom right hand side, you'll see what the percentage is.
Okay.
And then that will be the percentage that you use. So
I've already instructed them to call you. I gave them your guys' information. So
awesome. Thanks.
this is one from yesterday, but I've also had them at other listings as well that I've done. But yeah, this was one for yesterday. They were thinking of putting an all cash offer, and they were kind of wondering what would their property taxes be every year. So anyway,
Yeah.
I gave you your information, but I was wondering if you guys
Hey.
could do that.
Usually I would say 1.25 would be a
Okay.
very safe bet. And that's because we use that number because it's like if you have Melrose like in a newer development area, like say like down in Otay or something like that, or you have some new construction, usually it's going to be higher. It'll be upwards of 1.25, but it usually lands between 1.1 and 1.2. So
Okay.
1.25 is on the safer side.
Okay.
But great question. What else, you guys? Everybody's so quiet today. No other questions? Here, I'm just pulling up, say Rhonda Court, right? Let me share my screen with you guys again. So you would just go on the tax assessor's website, SD Trez Tax will pop it up. Click on pay bill, put in your information, and then you can see the bill. And you can look up anybody's tax bill if you want. I don't know why you'd want to. We do it all the time, but we have to. So you would just, when you come in here, down at the very bottom, you can see what their tax rate is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's the percent for the year. So obviously, when you're looking at somebody else's taxes, don't take the numerical number, right, that they pay, because that's based off of their purchase price. So when somebody new pays, they'll be reassessed at this rate on the new purchase price. Make sense?
Understood.
So that's how that works. It's pretty easy. But again, 1.25 usually covers our bases 99.9% of the time.
Okay.
Cool, you guys. Well, hopefully today was
Can you hear me?
helpful. Yeah, absolutely.
Those daily updates that you get from
List reports.
Habib from
Habibi,
Barry
yeah.
Habib. Is there a way to forward those to us? No.
Not the audio ones. Not the audio ones. What I could do, I might be able to see if I could figure out how to pull the market overview. Honestly, like what I do every day is have a subscription to Mortgage News Daily. And I that's the site that I love to use for the news. This is more like more analysis, like it's the minutia. I don't know if you want to get into it. Behind mortgage-backed securities, behind the economics of the markets. I can see how to do. I can't get these updates over to you. This is like if yeah, you can't have more than one person logged in at once. And I can't hand out my login. And you can't copy this. They made it in such a way that this is a picture. And so I can't copy this information. So I can't send this out. But let me see what I can do. They have a market wrap. But I like Mortgage News Daily, man. If you want to like stay a finger on the pulse, they do a really good job, especially wrapping up at the end of the day and letting you know exactly what happened that particular day. And I subscribe to their once a day updates, and that's at 4 p.m. We usually get those between 3 and 4, and it's an email, and in that email will be the entire breakdown of what's happened that day. It's great. I think Matt just dropped it in the chat box if you want to click on it and bring it up.
The best way to get reports that, I mean, maybe reports that we can send to clients that are kind of on the fence. I got a guy that's like a freaking year out that I'm still working on. Haven Streeter. I heard from him yesterday. And are you guys the best source for creating those reports that we can, maybe cost of waiting and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. If someone's sitting around waiting for threes again, like that's never going to happen in our lifetime. So I would just, make sure you just call me and we can sit down and we can I'll ask you the questions. I can Zoom with you. We can build a report together so you have something very relevant for him. It helps when I speak to people and like pick their brain. So I understand what's going on in their mind and like what their motivation is and what their hesitation is. And that way I can create the report for them. But if you have that information and you just need the report, just hit me up, give me a call, give Matt a call. We'll knock that report out for you, and you can present it, or you could just email it to him, or however you want to get to him. It's a good question, though. We're here whenever you need me. What else, you guys? Any other questions? Candace, you've been awfully
on these meetings.
Candace, do you have any questions, or are you at work? Probably can't talk.
No, I'm just at my day job, so I can't really talk a lot, but I'm listening for sure. But I don't have any questions. I think everyone else has covered it.
Cool.
I was thinking the same thing.
Just call Matt.
Yeah. I have a lot of renters that I know in Tierra Santa that literally when you showed the rent versus buy report, like it's so close to what they would be paying if they were, if they had their own mortgage. It just doesn't make sense to not do that.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, they do have to stretch to go from like a $3,500, $4,000 payment to a $5,500, $6,000 payment. But if you're a saver and you're already saving, you're just shifting cookies. You're just instead of putting it in your savings account, you're putting it in your house account, right?
Exactly.
But what you don't have is that appreciation if you keep putting it into a savings account, right?
Exactly.
And the safety of it's an investment. You're subsidizing your retirement down the road. Like there's so many positive aspects, financially speaking, to owning a home. It's like, just talk to me. I'll teach you everything about it. Like I love teaching people about it. So
yeah, I'm a very analytical person too. And when you did like the whole rundown of like the appreciation, well, even when you said with the interest rates, I've gotten that a lot. And you're like, okay, but look at the appreciation that you're missing by. So it's like people don't think that. They just go with what the news tells them. The rates are so high, and
it doesn't matter what the rates are. The rates are going to be up. They're going to be down. Look at when the rates come down. You know how many people are going to jump in that market when we hit 5.5? Like they've been all sitting on the sidelines. Now that we crept back up to 7%, I mean, big deal.
Yeah.
So you'll refinance and drop that payment later on. But you know what? In that year, you bought that $800,000 home. Guess what? You just pissed away 40 grand because you didn't buy it. a year ago,
Exactly.
right? And like
Exactly.
people don't think about this stuff. Like I have a part-time job owning my house.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah,
Like,
when you see it on paper, it makes all the difference in the world.
it totally does, 100%. So
Yeah. Thank
Piggyback
you.
what she was saying. I feel the same way. I feel like we can talk until we're blue in the face to people, but if they don't see it, if they don't see it with their own eyeballs and see it on paper in front of them, then it doesn't really stick like it does
yeah, very true
I
story.
think a lot of people think we're just salespeople. We're just trying to sell them something, and they it doesn't make sense to them if they don't actually see a report in their hands. So I appreciate that you guys have those available to us.
Yeah,
That's going to be
absolutely.
really helpful. A lot more helpful than me running my mouthpiece at people.
And again, it's about sharing and teaching them this information, right? They need to see it, they need to visualize it. That real estate report card's clutch. If you guys are going to be doing an open house, let me know. I could print one out for you. Matt can print one out for you. A buy versus rent report is real nice. This home price indexes and bid over ask. This came in really helpful when the bidding war started, right? And somebody was like, "Oh my God, you want me to bid $50,000 over asking price?" Well, here, let me show you how quickly you're going to break even on that if you buy that property now. Because again, people don't think, Candace, like we were just talking about, they don't think about that appreciation. So, okay, fine. You wind up not getting that property. Here's what you lost out on, but you bid higher, the 20, the 30, the $40,000 higher to get it. Guess what? That 5% appreciation on an $800,000 home, you just broke even in a year on overbidding. And at the same time, rates came down and you lower your payment. So that's a great one. That will come in handy later on down the road. There's an investment property one. Again, this is such a deep website. There's so much analysis in here. But if you do have anybody, the best thing to do is just like, let's chat, and then we'll pick the right report for that particular client so that we can give it to them and provide you guys with some sort of, value add to them, and not just trying to sell them in their ear. Like, teach them. Come from a teaching perspective, and things happen way quicker than if you're sitting there trying to tell them. Find that motivation and then teach them what they're missing out on. Cool, you guys. Sorry, Deb, right at the very end.
I'm so sorry. I had a
It's all
call
good.
and then whatever, and I'm like, I was going to text you, and then went, oh shucks, movement mortgage.
I was in such a hurry this morning. I forgot to text the coaching group, so I apologize for not pinging everybody. But I did record it. So how to create list reports. It's all going to be on YouTube. All these MBS highway reports that we have. It's all going to be on the YouTube channel. So we'll be able to share that with our partners. So
Terrific. Thank you.
cool, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me Monday morning. We're gonna have some new software out next week. We're gonna be going over some different stuff. February, we're talking about all the different software that we use, and there's a lot of it. So it's pretty cool. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. You guys have a great week. Be super productive. If there's anything you need, you guys know how to get in touch with us. Put our names in Google and we're everywhere. All right.